Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to Valentine TV. I just wanted y'all to get a little update of TISA as she goes into the Diddy trial. She's gonna update us on what happened like last week, so we'll be more up to date. I'm whispering for a reason. And yeah. So as y'all come in, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button and share it if you can, okay? Alright, here we go.
Brian Stills had it on the ones and twos. However, a lot of people think there might have been diminishing returns. They don't know how Brian Stills is going to keep Nia on the stand talking about the way IG posts are real life for 3 hours more. Counselor, you're going to have to wrap it up. But they are saying Diddy has a new plan. You guys, let's get into this. Let's recap the week. If you guys don't know, for those of you guys are asking, where's the RICO? Where's the coercion? I just don't see it. I did an amazing live Saturday where I broke down all the components, the years, and also which witness pointed to and proved. You guys, this is going to be a devastating day, and it's going to be make or break. Mia needs to be rehabilitated. Now, I have made no secret of the fact I don't think her testimony was the strongest.
Yeah, I say the same thing. Y'all know I did that live saying I ain't believe me or all that stuff because she wouldn't talk loud and the jury ain't gonna believe her. But today is redemption day.
I 100% believe what she says, but on the cross-examination, she was so put back by Brian Still's aggressiveness that she literally let this man tell us that we should literally act like everything she posted for her boss on Instagram, on her public profile, promoting his shows, promoting his party, promoting his life, that was nothing but a job-related duty. Who at this day and age honestly thinks that Instagram, right? Who in this day and age honestly thinks that Instagram is in fact real life, okay?
No.
But there was more than that. People said that Brian Still was in Mia's head because Diddy was in Mia's head. Let's not forget, if you believe the Diddy thing, Diddy spent the better part of most of these people's career at Bad Boys, getting in their mind, bullying them, paying them pennies in New York City to work 70, 80, 90 hours. It was actually insane the way this man...
And they had to stay up. They could only sleep, 4 hours if they're lucky. And he didn't want to pay no overtime. He tore up the papers when that so-called HR, would tell him, and it's just crazy. Sorry, y'all. She's coming.
And could get into their heads. It stands to reason. Oh, look at the doggies. Look, guys, we got dogs this morning, right? It stands to reason. And this is what we need to realize. It stands to reason that Diddy also coaches the Vince team about how to get into their head, how to make them insecure, how to make them be like, I don't know. Diddy had a way of hiring people, like the devil, like a gym. He would find people that were people pleasers, that needed a sense of family, that needed to be recognized, that needed to be seen, that needed to be heard, but also had a capacity to not only take mistreatment, not only take abuse, but also feel that they played a role in it. And if they would only do better, see better, do better, all of a sudden that wouldn't actually be an issue. And the whole thing, remember how back 2 weeks ago, and you guys, I have been live for the trial every day. Oh, also to let you guys know, I'm going to be doing a bunch of lives during the trial. Y'all know I always sneak out and I go live 2-3 times, and then I go live from the courthouse steps. Also, for everybody that wants a more formal, less chaotic sit down, I will be live later on tonight to do the daily recap and to point how the testimony of the day fit into the RICO and coercion, because I am tired of people saying they don't see the RICO when the RICO is in fact all over the place, okay?
Right there.
So, what do we do and where do we go? Diddy had a chokehold on all of his artists. The fact that people are now trying to act like they don't know what happens with mental abuse, they don't know what happens with physical abuse, they don't know what happens with DV, I find to be incredibly silly. I find it to be incredibly disingenuous, but also
because I think at least one person in your family has mental abuse some kind. It may not be like severe, but they may have a panic attack. Something had to cause it, you know. Some victims of SA that causes, that causes the panic and anxiety. I should know, right?
Also, I find it to be incredibly naive. Now, Mia did a brave thing. I talked to people that knew Mia back in the day. Diddy took that woman through this. I don't care if people don't believe it. I don't care if people don't see it. People, hey, what's up? People, oh, thank you. Diddy, it's only press. Okay. Good morning, Jericho. Good morning. Hey, what's going on, beautiful? How are you? Good morning. Okay, so they're bringing the press in. Hey, girl, give yourself a shout out. Hey, this is the queen of ABC. Give a shout out. It's my TISA T. Oh, Darla, listen. ABC, you know they watching.
ABC 7.
Okay. ABC 7.
You know I'm losing my line, girl. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I'm sabotaging her. Okay, hold on. Wait, are we lining up for public or no? Are we doing public or press?
It's still press.
It's still press. Okay, so they're doing. So they are watching a PR campaign. Now, how does that PR campaign play into what they say about the pardon? The pardon is something that we really need to pay attention to. Again, Brian Still's cross, very effective. Xavier's cross, very effective. Miss Westmoreland's cross, very, very effective. Mark Agnafilio, Iana, we need help. But the thing is, it has become, since Trump said he is open to some type of pardon if Diddy was treated unfairly.
And remember, 50 Cent said he's going to do everything in his power to block it. So
lets us know that this might be signaling a new era for the defense, where they don't need to convince the jurors. They just need to convince social media. People just need to think that Diddy had a raw deal, that maybe these girls were over-exaggerating, maybe these men were jealous, maybe all the women wanted, right? We just need to sit there and think about, if we redo the narrative and social media takes a turn and says, well, you know what? Maybe it was DV, right? And we all know that DV can be brushed away with a few hours of rehab. Maybe it was DV, but I don't think it was domestic violence. I don't think it was anything that serious. Once they can move it to that, people would say that if he could make the inroads to getting Trump to pardon him. Hey, how are you, Chloe? If he did, hey, good morning, beautiful. How are you, beautiful? If you could make those inroads into actually seeing, right? Into actually seeing that it wasn't so bad, then it would be so easy. Now, this is going to hit a lot of pushback. I was all in the MAGA. You know me. I go to Reddit. I go to Instagram. I go anywhere I can. I was all in the MAGA chat rooms. I don't see how Donald Trump is going to sell this, because MAGA seems to hate Diddy. He is on the same list as Jeffrey Epstein. I don't see how Brian Still, Mark Agnafilio, Westmoreland, Xavier, Tinny Garagos, as good as they may be, I don't see saying, well, she was cheating on me, I was jealous, and she was a hoe defense. People are also saying that this might be the Al Capone factor. Al Capone had blood all over the Chicago streets. However, what did he get taken down for? He got taken down for tax evasion. Now, were they...
All right, so y'all know, they also said that the state did not charge Diddy with every crime that they have on him in case he gets a pardon. They can come back in a couple of years, get him. He can't get but one pardon, okay? So that's in the deal too. So, but I don't want him to be out in the streets, period.
Trump took charges? Absolutely not. Was he engaging in tax evasion? Absolutely. However, because of his hold over everybody, he could not get anybody to actually talk about the blood on the streets. But baby, the numbers don't lie. They were able to bring a tax evasion case. My sources are telling me that anybody that just thinks that Diddy was just some jealous guy that engaged in DV, they are being naive. Diddy, they're saying, is into some dark, dirty things. Let's not forget the trick he used to get the government to stop their investigation. The government planned to investigate Diddy for 1 or 2 years. The rabbit hole went deep. Diddy did something with Mark Agnew Philly that was actually a very astute legal move. They made a choice. Listen, we're going to, once he got down for jury tampering, they put him in jail. He said, you know what, if that's the case, I want a speedy trial. Now, on one hand, he didn't really have time to mount in defense. But on the other hand, what really was Diddy's defense? Because they're not saying that it wasn't, that he didn't do it. They're saying that if he did do it, it wasn't criminal. Yes, the federal government does beg to believe. But getting back to the point about by speeding up the trial, right? By speeding up the trial, he short-circuited the government's ability to collect information.
Yeah, like the investigation that they were doing or may still be doing overseas, you know, the UK, Spain, everywhere Diddy traveled. Because I don't know if it was Capricorn Clark or even me or one of them, somebody said that he wreaked havoc all over the place. Spain, Europe, Paris, UK especially, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So they only could bring so many charges. Again, just like Al Capone's income tax. Did they get them for everything that they suspected him of? No. Do they have him for the RICO, for the coercion, for the sex trafficking? According to the testimony, they absolutely do. And for people to say, oh my God, the testimony is just hearsay, it is 100% not hearsay at all, okay? Hearsay is something taken out of the court and a statement presented for the truth of the matter. They assume that everything you're saying in the jury box is true unless they can launch some type of defense that pokes holes in your story. Even though Brian Steele has humiliated Mia, even though Mark Agnew Philly has done this, even though they've done that, even though Westmoreland went in on Don, even though Xavier tried to go in on Dante, right? Deontay, at the end of the day, okay? At the end of the day, it's important to note and it's important to actually keep in mind that even when all that happened, they still haven't poked any stories, enough doubt to show that the witnesses are lying, okay? An IG post that you made while you were someone's employee, that you had no choice in posting, that it was part of your job, and that you had to make your boss, no matter whether he was a monster or not.
Yes, she had to make those posts. If she'd have put a negative freaking post or no post, and Diddy went through her phone, because you know he would just snatch their phones and go through them, or even wipe them and send everything to his phone so he could look through it. You know, she had to.
Had to make him happy. That's not enough to discount everything. Brian still actually made an overreach, in my opinion, when he was. One, we get it. Y'all, it was a bloodbath. I was disgusted. I didn't even want to watch it. But two, it's going like it was starting to reach overkill. On top of that, right? He literally said, is it not true that you lied about Diddy raping you and about the abuse that Cassie suffered? And when he said that, we all were like, okay, I think you went a little bit too far, because you're now trying to say that the abuse that we saw, the abuse that he admitted to, the abuse that everybody in their mama in the record industry was the worst kept secret. You're now trying to gaslight us and say that they didn't see that? 6 people testified about seeing the abuse. Now you're trying to say that one person lied about seeing the abuse. Again, it was a bit nonsensical. It was a bit weird, but it was what it was, okay? You guys, we are in the home stretch. Listen, as much as people are saying, oh my God, the defense is eating this and that, y'all don't believe that. I am in the courtroom, and not the overflow room. Shout out to the overflow room. But I'm actually in the courtroom with my eyes and ears. I'm watching the jurors. I'm watching the way things land. I'm watching arguments. It's things that you actually cannot get around. Things that you need to be there to experience, because a tweet doesn't do it justice, okay? And I am telling
a tweet, it sure doesn't. Not at all. Not at all, y'all. Because that's why I wait for TISA to go, because just now I was trying to follow, and I was literally, my chin was hitting my darn chest while I was falling over asleep. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for him to text and type the next one. It's just, I'm just gonna start doing this, just waiting. Shout out to everybody that's in there that can text us and let us know what's going on. It's absolutely not the same as hearing it from someone who was actually sitting there that could look at the jury, look at Diddy, look at the judge, the prosecution, all of that stuff, right? So that's yeah.
You that the prosecution is 100% proving their case, so much so that they actually told the judge on Friday, so we're going to be wrapping up a week early. Yes, they plan to wrap up a week early. You guys, if that isn't confidence, I don't know what is. And don't forget, on my live that I did Saturday, go ahead and check it out. And I might even do it today. We're going to get into the jury instructions, because a lot of people think that they can just walk in and give their verdict based off of vibes. That's not what it is. The government gives them the law. The government gives them instructions. If you see this, then it must be this. If you see this, then it must be this. It is a checklist. It's not, you don't get to choose your own adventure. Did you see evidence, right? Or any testimony that would indicate that Diddy was abusive? Again, Diddy's team is scoring huge on social media, and that might be their plan. Just get social media on their side through bots, campaigns, paid bloggers, paid media, paid whatever, or maybe it's not even money, maybe it's influence. Diddy has some high-powered lawyers. Mark Garagos, he is part of the dream team. But if you can shift the narrative into people thinking, well, he was, basically it wasn't that bad. When he gets pardoned, there's a tough way that he can actually move on from that. And he's probably going to hit the church circuit, have somebody pray over him. I hope it's not T.D. Jakes. Didn't he resign? Have somebody pray over him. And then he's going to say, oh my God, I'm saved, until the next victim. I do want to say one thing that I think is really gross, even in the Diddy. Diddy was so violent. Diddy was so brutal. Diddy was such a weirdo. The fact that people don't realize that he was an inch away from paralyzing Cassie, giving her brain damage, even killing. The fact that people don't think that you can actually die by being stomped out, hit, glasses thrown in your face. Again, now, what is the real issue that we think this person might be testifying soon? There's victim number 2. Yep. Victim number 2 is a problem, right? Victim number 2 is a problem. She did not work for Diddy, right? She did not file a civil suit. She has stayed out of the media, okay? The government found her. She is the perfect victim. Now, we all know that they say that Cassie, to me, Cassie is also the perfect victim, for lack of better words. She's beautiful. She has a name. She brought it to the public. But there's also victim number 2, that all the things they tried to go in on Cassie about, you sued, you want money, you're trying to make a career comeback, you're just trying to, they cannot use that for victim number 2. Victim number 2 was quiet. Victim number 2 was trafficked. Victim number 2 was treated the same, if not worse, than Cassie, okay? On top of that, there is the Bona factor. Remember a long time ago, I said that Diddy did something horrible to one of Cassie's friends. A lot of people thought that Diddy would get hit with an attempted murking charge. What is it? He busted into the house, grabbed this little woman, hung her over the balcony from the 17th floor by her chest, while everybody was screaming and yelling, please, 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 please don't do this. And then instead of tossing her over, right, he literally slammed her into the patio.
That was made of all glass, okay? Just because Cassie didn't want to go have a FO. She wanted to hang with her friends at her apartment. And Diddy, he went slam dunk off. I'm so glad that lady didn't fall, man.
Patio allegedly had glass doors, glass windows, but also glass furniture, okay? It was super, super bad. Diddy is going to have to answer for what he did to Bona, but also he's going to have to answer to the cover-up for what he did to Bonner. Again, the criminal organization. What was the goal of the criminal organization? To protect Diddy's image so he could still keep getting that money, because everybody wanted to get that money, because they were hoping they could make a come up. A lot of people wanted to get the money so they could live and get their dreams. We talk about coercion, we talk about the force, we talk about the fraud. Please go see my live I did on Saturday. It's called The Case Is Already Won. Diddy's panicking because his team knows that the prosecution has already proven their defense. So their hope is that they can sway social media enough that the tides can turn and people can soften their hearts to Diddy, and then they can move into what? They can move into the pardon period. Let's also not forget that Ray J, it seems like he was signaling to Kim and them that you better start pulling every single Trump tie you have. Right now, that is Diddy's closest tie to Trump. I know somebody said Kim is not the tie to Trump because Diddy and Trump have been cool for 25 years. They were cool for 25 years until Diddy sided with Mark Garagos, Ben Masalas, close friends, Ron Burkle, in their effort to get Trump impeached in his 2016 term. That whole Stormy Daniels, Michael Avenatti thing, right? It was rumored they were behind this. That is when they had a falling out. Diddy bet, if you can say that, Diddy bet on the wrong horse, if you can say that. Nobody expected in Diddy circles for Trump to be reelected. He sided to where the power was. He thought Trump was a one-hit wonder. We now know, no, right? Trump just dropped a 2024 mixtape. But the whole point of the matter is, right? Trump just dropped a 2024 mixtape. But the whole point of the matter is, Diddy and Trump had a huge falling out, okay? Trump even signaled that. You know, we used to be really tight, okay?
Yeah.
Diddy needs to rehab himself. Now, some people say that Diddy is willing to be used as a pawn to take.
Yeah, but, and also did a live on that, or a reaction, showing y'all exactly what Trump said. I mean, I went straight to Trump's lips so we could hear all the adjectives. He said, yeah, but when I got into politics, I saw that we were no longer friends. I saw the nasty things that he wrote about me. Yeah, he said that also. And y'all, I'm just going to play a little bit more because she's just headed in the courtroom. So, yeah.
Down those Democrat power brokers that at one time helped him excel through the vote or die. And in that, Trump would see a pardon. And Diddy would kiss the rings and be used as a tool to take down the Democratic power brokers that Trump still holds a grudge at for trying to ruin him. Again, you guys, it is a lot going on out there. There's a lot of moving parts. Please turn those notifications on. I'll be on live several times today in court, giving y'all the ones and twos. After court, I go live right from the court steps. And then later on tonight, we are going to do a recap where I take all the testimony and I link it up directly to the charges, what's needed, and where they won and where they didn't. Again, Mia had a bad day. Ryan still is too good. But as one person said, it's going to take a little bit more than IG posts to make us believe that the horrors that every witness saw did not happen, okay? But again, when it comes to that Diddy stuff, when it comes to the pardon stuff, you guys, we were the first to report this 9 months ago. People said we were making shit up. People said we were putting on 20 on 10. People said we were imagining things. And now all the major news organizations have, we were also 2 years ago the first people to talk about Jonathan Oddie. 2 years ago, we were the first ones to say that Diddy was under federal investigation. We were the first one that said a grand jury was going to be convened. And when I say the first, I mean like months before. We were the first ones that said that Diddy was going to apologize, tell you exactly what time, and tell you what was going to be in the apology. We were the first ones. So when I tell you that this pardon is a bigger issue than a lot of people want to make it seem, yes, there are issues about whether Trump will even do it. Yes, there are issues about whether he is just playing with Diddy, going to take his money and still tell him no. Yes, there are issues as to whether Diddy would say that he would be used for as a pawn, that Diddy says that he would be used as a pawn to bring down his Democratic backers. However, you look at the fact of Clive Davis, you look at Leah, what's his name? Jimmy Levine. You look at the fact of Ron Burkle's name being brought up. Again, there's a lot of big power players. Even though it was brought up in Prowl, when you look at the coverage, they're even scared to say their names. They'll say a high-powered record executive, instead of actually saying their names. Why? Because the record industry holds real power. And the record industry, you think about it, was founded on organized crime, okay? And I don't think they've moved that far from their roots. Again, there's a lot of factors going on. Whether Trump will do it, whether Trump's base will accept it, whether he's willing to leverage and go against his base to actually give this guy freedom if it will help to the greater good. But again, this will be what Diddy's team is playing into. Because, baby, I will say one thing. As much as Diddy keeps having wins, as much as Diddy cannot win on the truth. He never can. He's into silencing witnesses, cutting out testimony, talking about Instagram posts as if that's the God honest. Diddy cannot win on the truth, but yet and still he is going to do everything he can to win. Everything. Anyway, you guys, listen. Potato Gun Camper.
Okay, y'all heard all of that. And she'll be out for lunch soon, I hope. And then I'll come back and I'll do a recap on that for whoever may miss it, you know. So thank y'all for joining me. And I had something to say, but I forgot what it was, y'all. All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all later, and thank y'all so much. Please hit that subscribe button, like it, share it if you can. I appreciate it very much. Thank y'all for subscribing, because y'all doing that thing this week, last week, and starting off today. I appreciate it so much. From Valentine TV. All right. Bye, y'all.